Hello everyone, it's eXtreamAngel with you. This video will show you how to create a map in Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition. After the game released, I was immersed to play with the map editor and learn what you can do with different triggers. When I searched the YouTube, I realized that there are not enough videos to give you enough information. So I decided that my video will be helpful for you. In our video, we will create a very simple scenario without any decorations, just to show how different mechanics works. Following the plot, we have a hero who wants to pass the gates, but they are locked. The guard asks us to go to the monastery to get the key from the monk. We are going to the monastery, but the monk tells us that the wolf stole his rags and we need to return them. After we get his rags and return them to him, he will give us a ship and will open the gates. The final stage will be bringing the ship to the selected area for the victory. So let's start from the creating a map. Because this is a test map, let's choose the tiniest map size and choose the terrain that we'll use. For example, let's choose grass jungle because I like its saturation and it looks good. Now let's go to the player category and choose a number of players. We have 2 players by default, that's perfect. Let's choose civilization. For example, we will play Slavs. Why it's important? Because few civilizations have certain bonuses like killing animals like wolves from one hit. Maybe it's Mongols and maybe not, I don't remember. And we want to... By the way, let's block these civilizations. And we want to trigger some events. Okay, let's create our units. Let's place our hero. Choose player 1. Now let's create gates and where we will go as our first objective. Let's go to the buildings and choose palisade. Let's build some area. Okay. Here. And here. And the gates. Now we want to build monastery where monk lives. Building the monastery. I can't rotate it. And let's place our wolf. For this we need to choose player Gaia, because in this category wolf is available for us. Now let's place it. And let's choose object rocks that will require our monk. At the same time, we can use rotate option to change rock's skin. Let's leave it blue because I like blue. Now we have all what we need. Now it comes to triggers. Let's create our first trigger. Let's rename it in settings. Leave trigger starting state on, because it will work from the start of the map. We have 2 options, conditions and effects. The rule is simple, when all conditions are met, then all effects are effects. If there are no conditions, then all effects are effects immediately. So choose your new effect, lock gate. This way we will lock our gates from the start of the game. Now, let's add a new trigger. This will be our first goal. It will work from the start of the game. And add some short description. Go to the gates. And check yes to display it on the screen. Now, add new condition, bring object to object. Select our hero as the source object and the gates as our target. Add a new effect. We want to show a short message, so choose Display Instructions and add a message. Go to the monastery. We have panel location that allows us to choose instructions location on the screen. 0 for top, 1 for middle and 2 for bottom. You can check hint in the bottom right corner. We will leave it by default. Let's set timer to 5. This message is short, so users should be able to read it by the time it ends. We want to show to our player the place where he needs to go, so let's add new effect, change view. For the player 1, setting the location. Okay, this location. But we also want this location to be revealed, so we will add a new effect, create object. We will leave a source player as player 1. Let's choose object type others. We have an object here like map revealer. Set object spawn location. This location will be revealed. Now create a new trigger and rename it to goal 2. Return to the previous trigger and add new effect. We want to activate our next trigger after the previous one will be ended, so select goal 2 from the list. If you will rename your triggers, it will be much easier for you to choose right from the list. Let's change our starting state to off, because we don't need it to work from the start of the game, and add some description as our next goal. We move to the monk and the monk... We move to the gates and the guard says that we need to visit the monk who has a key. So, as short description, let's write go to the monastery. Let's select condition. It's the same as previous one. Set our hero as the source object and monastery as the target object. Now add new effect, display instructions. We will have timer by default. Bring Rex back to me and I'll unlock the gates. Despite this, we will add previous effects, like change view, setting location for our player where the goal is, and revealing the area. Again, let's find create object, choose object type others, and map revealer. Setting the location. Perfect. Now add effect activate trigger and add a new trigger with the name goal 3. Now returning to the previous trigger and activating it from the effect options. Now go back to the goal 3 trigger. We will turn its state off. Adding some description. Our description will be get the rocks. And let's add our conditions. Bring object to area. Because our rocks are not an object but scenery, we need to bring our object to the certain area. Now, we set our condition. Let's add a few effects. We got our X, so we need to remember this moment. There is an effect in the list under the name change variable. We allowed to use 256 variables, but fortunately, we can rename them as we want. Let's rename our variable to Rex and set our quantity to 1. So right when this attribute changed to 1, we can compare it later when we visit the monk back. And right when we go to the monastery, we will check this variable whether it equal 1 or not. Let's add an effect. We want to remove our Rex from the ground. Because this is not an object, we need to clear the area, not the object. So we need to choose something like clear area. Do we have something like this? Let me a little. Oh, here it is. Remove object. And let's set our area. Now we want to point this certain object we want to remove. Choose Gaia as a source player. Choose others from the object type list. And let's find our object in the list. It will be the certain declaration of objects that we want to remove. Rugs. Why is it so important for us? In current situation, we can point only the source of player as Gaia without of pointing of other two attributes like object type and object by itself. But in case if you will have such a wide area where you will have a lot of objects like we have rugs and a wolf, then all of these objects will be removed. So, if we point that we want to remove only rugs, then all rugs will be removed from the area except the wolf. Let's change back our area to rugs. Okay, so what do we need to do more? Let's add some instructions. We can change our timer to 5. I've got monks rags. And create a new trigger. Let's rename it to goal 4. Now return to the previous trigger. Don't forget to add an effect activate trigger. Choose your goal 4 trigger. Again, turn the state off and add some short description. Return rags back to the monk. Perfect. Add new condition, bring object to object. Let's set our hero as a source object and the monastery as the target object. Now, we took the rags and we need to add one more condition to check our variable. Choose variable rags and set quantity to 1. If two of our conditions are complied, like we moved our hero to the monastery and we have rugs, then next effects will be effect. Let's add display instructions effect. Oh, my rags. I opened the gates. Now, move on. And we want to create a ship that we will bring to the area later. Because our hero should be located near this object, we will not create our ship near the monastery. Let's create new effect create object. Choose Gaia and choose ship. Okay, set location. Let's set it for example here. But we want our ship to move to the monastery, and right when it will be in place near our hero, it changed its ownership. So we need to add new effect. Here we need to select task object. Choose Gaia as a source player and choose ship as our unit. Now we are telling that all units of this class ship should come to this location. Now, independently whether we have any units in this location or not, but our ships should come to this location. If the path is blocked, then they will just stop. Okay, let's create new effect and create new trigger. Rename it to goal 5. Here we don't forget to unlock our gates. Choose our gates as a target and add new effect that will activate our goal 5 trigger. Now return to our trigger. Turn off starting state. Add short description. Something like bring ship to the area. Bring ship to the area. Add new condition, objects in area. Because we don't have any ship, we can select our source object as we already do that with our hero. That's why we need to check our area for certain objects in it. Let's select the area. Let's leave our source player as player 1 and choose class ship. Choose quantity. Because we have only one ship, so we will set it to 1. This area will check the presence of one ship that belongs to player 1. And let's add one more trigger and name it as victory. It will be activated by previous trigger. Let's add an effect activate trigger. And here we will have condition. We will choose timer at the end of which victory will be declared. So add an effect and choose declare victory for player 1. That's good. We can also add one condition for defeat. Let's add new condition. Destroy object. And set our hero as the source object. Actually, we don't need to add this trigger here, because we have only one unit and right when it dies, the game will declare defeat by default, because all units destroyed. However, in case if you have a hero with lots of units and you don't want him to die, then you should add this condition check to declare defeat. Add new effect declare victory. But now uncheck victory checkbox. And one more thing. We will test our map, but we don't want our hero to move slowly, so we will change his movement speed. Let's add an effect that will affect from the start of the game. Select modify attribute. Then choose the type of unit. In our case, it's villager. After the unit chosen, we will get its ID. Modify quantity to 6. Okay, let's add one more interesting trigger. We want our wolf run away right when he starts losing his health. So let's add new condition and rename it our trigger to something like wolf fear. Set condition to object HP that will observe our object's health. Select our object and choose comparison to less or equals. Set quantity to 10. If you select comparison to less, then comparison will start from 9. And add new effect. You want it to scream a little, so let's add some message. Set timer to 4 and enter the description. You can check play sound checkbox. It's not that important. Leave location by default and source player as player 1. And let's add new effect. You want our wolf run away, so we need to select task object from the list. Choose our wolf as a source object and set location somewhere at the borders of the map. Because we have an object, we can choose it directly. We don't need to choose the whole class object. The last thing we need to choose, player Gaia. Now, I think that's all. Let's just check all again. So, we went to the monastery and the monk will give us a new task. Okay, let's add new effect. We will research technology. Let us assume that our hero is weak and we want to make him stronger. So let's research technology loom. Choose new effect, research technology. Then choose technology loom. Unfortunately, you can notice that all technologies are listed as a list, so you will need to remember their names. And choose the source player who will get the technology. That's all. Cool. We can add one more attribute to make our ship move faster. So, select the ship from the object list. Select movement speed attribute from the list. Okay. Where is that attribute? Set quantity to 6, as our hero has. And here... oh. Let's change to movement speed. Super! So, by this moment we should have a ship and it should move fast. Now let's test our map. I hope I set all triggers I had to set. The more triggers you have, the more difficult it is to take them into account and miss something. Okay, good. You know what? Let's add a few flags to our victory area. Let's go to the units, others, and flag G. Place in the corners to see the inner area. Okay, now let's test again. Go to the gates. But you want to visit Monastery first. Oh wow, look, I forgot to set the second player friendly to me. The gates are enemies, so I'm not sure that they will be opened when we complete our quest. Let's try attack the wolf and check whether all other triggers are working. Aha, the wolf started running away. We will not chase him. Let's pick monk's rugs. Okay, we took rugs and now let's return to the monastery. Okay, seems like the monk unlocked the gates. And we see a ship that's moving towards us. We got the ship. Seems that I had to change Gaia's ship speed, not the first player's ship. Aha, you see, the gates are locked. I forgot to set diplomacy for the players. Let's set each player to become ally for each other. We needed to make the gates open for us. Check our triggers. Run to the monastery. Run to get rugs. We don't even need to kill wolf. Now we see our ship is coming. Now let's wait until our ship gets to the area to test victory trigger. Our ship is coming. Perfect. Our objectives are completed and victory time started the countdown. After a few seconds we should win the game. Here it is, we won. Well, that's all for today. Leave a comment whether it was useful for you or not and whether you want more videos about scenario edition or not. While I was surfing the YouTube, I couldn't get enough information about map edition and some tricks. Subscribe to my channel if you don't want to miss future videos and good luck in creating your own scenario. Good luck everyone!